guys, welcome back to the channel. Coming to you from inside my little RV kitchen. Tonight I'm going to be making an Italian pasta dish. It's called Penne Alla Vodka. Seeing as how I'm here in the heart of the Smoky Mountains, I'm going to substitute local moonshine for the vodka in the recipe and see what happens. See if I blow the camper up. That's it. Let's get started. We got some prep to do. We're going to get going right now. All right, guys, so here's the setup. We got our water salted, boiling, ready to go. These are some of the ingredients we're going to be using. There's the moonshine, and now we're going to start off with our shallots. We're going to do a nice julienne on these. Got the core out, and a nice quick thin julienne. And then we are going to move on to our fresh garlic cloves. Got 3 to 4 we're going to start with. Nice thin slice on those. We're not going to chop them up. We're going to do just a nice thin slice. They're going to melt right into the sauce. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a nice little rough chop on some fresh Italian parsley for garnish. And remember, guys, the trick to cutting fresh herbs is a sharp knife, nice smooth downward strokes, and don't overwork it. And your herbs will stay green. All right, just about done with that. Now we're going to start getting our pasta into the water. Water's, like I said, heavily salted. Penne pasta went in, give it a nice stir. And now we're going to start building our sauce. We're going to add some extra virgin olive oil to the pan. The pan is on a medium heat. And the first thing we're going to add to the oil is going to be our pancetta, or Italian bacon. It's diced up. We're going to add that to the pan. We're going to let that render out. The fat is going to add flavor to the sauce. And the pancetta will brown up a little bit. We're going to let that go for a few minutes before we add in our shallots and garlic. Give it a nice stir. Let that fat render out. That fat is just going to bring tons of flavor to this dish, guys. Look at that pancetta. It's starting to brown up. The fat is rendering out beautifully. And now we're going to add our shallots to the pancetta, along with our sliced garlic. We're going to add a little bit of crushed red pepper for a little bit of background heat, not a ton, about a teaspoon I'd say, maybe less. And we're going to let this all sweat down in the pancetta fat. And we are just building flavors. We are just building flavors. All right, guys, you see how the fat is bubbling. The pancetta is browning, and those onions and those shallots and garlic are just getting flavorful. Next, we're going to go in with our moonshine. Be careful with this one. I'm going to hit it with a lighter, and bada bing. Got a little flambe action there. We're going to let the moonshine burn off, and the alcohol will burn off, and it's just going to leave that flavor in the background. Next thing we're going to add is our tomato sauce. You could add crushed tomatoes. You could add Roma tomatoes. I'm using just a good quality jarred marinara sauce that I like. Put a little bit of water in there, shake it up to get the rest of the sauce out of the jar. And we're going to stir this in. We're going to let it simmer. And all those flavors from the shallots and the garlic and the pancetta are going to just incorporate right into those tomatoes. Now I'm adding some parsley stems, and some whole basil leaves. You notice they're not chopped up, they're not staying in there. I'm going to let them simmer with the sauce for a few minutes. While the sauce is simmering, the flavors are going to incorporate in there, and I'm going to pull them out in the end. I'm adding in our heavy cream now. Give it a stir, and you're going to see the sauce is going to become beautiful. It's going to go from red to a beautiful pink color. That's what we're looking for. Vodka is a pink sauce. And like I said, we're going to now let this simmer and reduce a little bit. And just like I said, the more it simmers, the more it reduces, the more it is getting flavorful. The smells that are coming off the stove right now are amazing. All right, see how that sauce is simmering? And the herbs are getting incorporated into that sauce. That basil and parsley flavor are getting incorporated in there. And then we're going to pull those herbs out so they don't get stale. If you leave them in there, they'll tend to get stale after a while. Seasoning it with a little salt and pepper now, as always. You always want to season as you go. And sauce is about getting close. I'm going to get those herbs out of there. We got all the flavor out of them that we want. So they're going to come out right into the garbage. And that sauce is pretty close. Looks amazing, smells amazing. All right, now that the sauce is finished, we're going to add our pasta, cooked al dente, into the sauce. And here's the thing, guys, you want to let that pasta cook in the sauce for a few minutes. You don't want to just pour the pasta in there, give it a little toss, and pull it out. You want that pasta to cook in the sauce. As it's cooking in the sauce, that the flavor of the sauce is going to adhere to the pasta. A little drizzle of finish with the finish of extra virgin olive oil, always nice with pasta. And like I said, now we're just going to give it a little mix and just let it cook in there 3-4 minutes, and you'll be amazed. That's why you cook the pasta a little al dente, a little bit under, because you're going to finish cooking it in the sauce. And like I said, if you let it simmer, if you let the pasta simmer in the sauce for a couple minutes, it just kind of incorporates the flavor right in there. Look at that. That looks delicious. And right at the end, some fresh parsley. I already got the burner turned off. And once the fresh herbs go in, we are done. We are ready to plate. That is rigatoni alla moonshine, my friends. Let's plate this up and take it for a test drive. There we go. Looks gorgeous. Gonna finish it with a little shaved Parmesan. And that chopped fresh parsley from earlier for the garnish. And there we have it, guys. Rigatoni alla moonshine. Ready to taste. All right, guys. Well, this is the finished product. Let's give it a taste, see what's doing. Oh, yeah. The moonshine does not overpower the dish at all. It actually adds a, I don't know, like a slight sweetness from the corn and almost like a smoky flavor, like smoky afternotes. Definitely a good substitution. This is what I would call hillbilly Italian-American fusion. If you guys are ever in the Smoky Mountains, I recommend going to any of these local distilleries and trying the moonshine. It's really, really good. If you like the content, if you like the cooking videos, please consider liking the videos, giving them a thumbs up, subscribing to the channel if you feel so inclined. Ring the little bell so you'll get notified when I do these videos. I'm going to try to do 1 or 2 a week. Let me see if Poppy likes this. Poppy, come here. What do you think? You likey? You likey. Like I said, if you like the content, please consider liking the videos and subscribing to the channel. And I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace.